on the system and the type of antenna you're working with. But most people don't go that far to really understand just what a difference it makes getting your velocity factors correct.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't get a buildup. And a lot of people just buy jumpers and, like a yard sale or something and plug them in. And you got one cable that's a velocity factor of one part, and another cable has got a different velocity. So you're already doomed before you even key the mic.
Oh, yeah, you're pushing a golf ball through a garden hose. You're creating a big bottleneck somewhere, man. You got to understand, everything's got to be consistent, and everything's got to, it's all mathematically got to be right. It's got to flow, or you're just spending a lot of money on equipment and amplifiers, and you're not getting the performance that you could get out of them if you understood your velocity factors.
Oh, exactly. If you're trying to run a 100-foot hose out there with a 3/8 hose, or you want to get the water, you put like an 1.5 inch or 1.25 inch hose out there with the same amount of water coming out of the first one, and now you got a lot of water. But you know what? People don't figure that out. I don't know why. It's you don't even need an amp. You get all the velocity, you get everything in tune and everything working like a little system or a watch. And you know what? That's it, man. You don't need all that help. But what happens is, when it doesn't work right, you got a bottle up, you put an amp behind it, and you got worse of a bottle up. Worse, that's a good word.
Well, I learned at a very young age from a gentleman who's, of course, passed away now, but he taught me a lot. Old school, pencil to paper, do the math, understand what you're working with. And he would take his station, QRP, with the right velocity factor, the feed line dialed, just dialed in, the antenna just dialed in, and he would take 10 watts and run circles around everybody that were running a KW.
Oh, yeah, he didn't have to overmodulate himself or anything. Yeah, no doubt about it.
So, yeah, I learned a lot from him. He was, as far as I'm concerned, he was a master antenna enthusiast. Always built all his own stuff from scratch, and he couldn't emphasize just how important your feed line is, man. It's all about your feed line. If your feed line's right, and you get your antenna right, look out, brother. You're going to get out there and get somebody's attention.
See, not everybody can go like 50 ohm or 75 ohm TV cable and do a ladder line. Not everybody can do that. So now you got to do your math.
Well,
using ladder line.
I watched him take 4 Lightning quads. This was a system he was building for a friend of his. 4 4-element quads with 600 ohm ladder line going to each one of them, and back into a special balun that he had made and wound by hand. And the signal this guy was putting out with 4 quads in balance was just amazing.
I know.
What frequency?
That was on 11 and 10 meters he was doing that one.
Oh, my.
Yeah, he was a neat guy, man, old Saul. There's a lot of times I wish he was still around, but I was in high school, and I know I drove him crazy because I was over there damn near every afternoon dinging him and bugging him and watching and asking too many questions, but I was soaking it up.
There you go. Now look where you're at.
Good evening, all. Got the stream up if you want to check it out before the net. We should get started here. Maybe about 10 minutes. Hope everybody's having a great day.
Face.
We have traffic out there?
I don't know. Any traffic out here?
I think I might have doubled with you guys. No, I was just going to let you know the stream's up if you want to check it out before the net. Do any fine-tuning and get started here maybe 10 minutes. Hope everybody's having a great day so far.
Oh, cool. You're up. I want to listen to it.
I think I'll just stick to my Moonraker 4 and a Henry 10K.
Yeah, and the right coax and the right gamma match so it doesn't melt to the ground.
Yeah, that's always a plus.
Hello, radio.
Hey, that arcing is brutal, man. I've watched that in action. That's amazing what happens up there.
And what are you powering this Henry 10K?
Well, there you go.
How much power does it take for a Henry 10K to be powered?
It takes a good electrician.
Radio.
It takes 20 amps to power 100 watts.
Audio, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Can you open up the filter?
Damn, you slam his SDR.
I need a not only a transmit receive switch, I need some kind of automatic attenuation. We're gonna have to get the Linux machine out, hook a link between Bones and I.
Okay, can you manually open up the audio channel, the frequency range?
Yeah, I can. I tell you what, I'll probably do that after that. I can play around with the filter width if you want to do that.
Yeah.
I just want to do a short demonstration.
I'm gonna guess we're gonna see what 10K seals look like. No.
Well, not what it looks like, but what it sounds like.
Yeah, I can. Like I said, I can crack it all open after the net.
Okay, cool.
Audio, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Audio check 1, 2, audio.
The 111 frequency.
11,111.
Sounds like a Fresno Philharmonic tuning in.
Hello, Mr. Dennis.
Hey, all the instruments started playing their own little tune. Hello, radio.
Hello, radio.
We are live on YouTube.
Well, there's Ultimate Dennis.
Radio check.
It's working.
Standing by for the net, 310, Tony and Corsico.
Oh, you're doing a fine trip from up there, down here in Fresno, so yeah, you're good.
Well, if I can hear you and Reedley, you're doing something right. Yeah, copy the Reedley up here in Corsico, Roger.
Yeah, hello, radio.
I think Bakersfield could hear 111.
Pretty close enough, JR.
miles out of town.
Tell you what, I'm 40 miles away from you, and you're like 8 to 10 over. You'd never been that strong before. You were always fairly, I think, kind of listen for you.
You can hear 111 on the moon.
Oh, yeah, with 2 meter.
And if you listen to his audio along with it, and if you ever met him, he stands beside him and talks
It's
to him.
good to be heard,
It's
Corscombe.
exactly him.
It's good to be heard. It's almost out of duty time.
And there you go.
Go or no go for liftoff.
It's not widely known, but if you hear an astronaut talking, he's on 2 meters.
Mm.
2 meters. Do you catch him on the up path or straight above you or on the down path?
Audio 1 2 1 2.
We're standing by for the Bank SSB Net.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It took me a minute to figure it out. There's a hell of a delay on this thing. Man.
That's right.
All right. Well, I have 8 p.m., and I think it's about that time to get started. I went and got me a fresh iced tea out of the refrigerator. It looks like, hopefully I'm not too loud on the stream. But let's get things, oh, it's going to start off like that. Let's get things started. Good evening, everybody. My name's Jeremy. I'll be acting as net control for this week's edition of the Bank Sideband Net. This net meets every Friday at 27.365 lower sideband. I swear that happens every single time I get on here. Let's turn that off. Okay. Turn that off. Turn that down. All right. Let's try this again. And we work off a list of last week's list. We'll run through that. And if it's your first time joining us, thanks for joining or listening in. And don't be bashful at the end of the list. We'll take a look for guest check-ins. We'll get you on there. You can join us every week. If there's a station I don't hear and somebody else does hear, if you could please say relay, we'll do our best. We got enough people out here now. We should be able to get them on there and get them on the list. So without further ado, we'll skip all that stuff. There's a bunch of stuff I wrote down to try to say every week, and I usually just kind of stumble through it. So let's move on. Line number 1, we have operator. He's a Sidebanders of America. Operator 775, Mr. Bones.
Well, good evening. 775, Bones out here in the western part of Viola on the other side of the ditch bank, and saying good evening to all the SWL listeners, Sidematter listeners, and blah, 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 blah. Have a good evening.
All right, thanks for checking in, Bones. And yeah, it does look like it's still working. I thought maybe it wiped out the front end, but we're still good. Sounded good tonight. Appreciate you being there. Moving on to line 2. Operator 33, James up in Albury.
Hey, good evening there, Jeremy, and also to the rest of the net. Good evening time. 33 Albury checking in.
Hey, it's good to hear you, James. We missed you the last couple weeks, and glad to hear you back.
Thanks, Kevin. That old catfishing kind of gets in the way once in a while. Have a good evening.
Nothing wrong with that. Moving down to Operator 744, the Bull Wagon.
Hello, JR, 744. Checking in.
All right, we got you on the list. Thanks for being there, sir. Moving down to Operator 458, Mule Skinner up there in Shaver Lake.
Yep, hello, I'm checking in. Thanks for having it.
All right, did you ever have any luck finding a rotor there, or are you still looking for one?
I got a line on one.
Okay, good deal. I'll take that off my little notes area then. Thanks for being there. Moving to Operator 363, Stump Jumper, Madera. Operator 1233, Big D in Corscold.
Good evening, Jeremy and the net. This is Transworld Sideband 1233, and we're saying good evening. I think I'm on frequency tonight.
Sounding good, and we appreciate you being there. All right, let's go to Operator 767, Pat in Orange Cove.
Good evening, Jeremy. 767, Orange Cove.
Sounding good, Pat. Thanks for being there from Orange Cove this evening. All right, moving to Operator 761, Mark and Prather. Moving to Operator 621, John and Dinuba. Let's stretch this out a little bit here and mess that up. Okay. Operator 544, Dave in Easton.
Checking in, Jeremy.
All right, thanks for being there, Dave. Moving down to Operator 213, that is myself. Put the X in the square there. Next, we have Operator 920, Mr. OTR himself.
I think I got it fired up here. Hello, Jeremy, the net, and all the SWLs. I am looking at the video portion, and it seems to be working nicely. Checking in. Over.
All right, Dennis, we got you checked in. Yeah, and I was going to tell you, now that I'm running SDR Uno instead of the HD SDR, I think, well, let me see here. If I zoom this in tomorrow, if we run this, of course I won't be able to see it when I'm talking, so we'll have to see it afterwards. It'll display the frequency, and I can actually, if I move my cursor around, I know when you're checking in some of the tube radios, they were asking, you're talking about the carrier frequency. So I tell you what I could do if it works out. I think my cursor will actually display if I put it over top that carrier frequency, it will actually display the frequency. If I can zoom in on that enough to where those numbers show up tomorrow, I was going to play with that. So anyways, thanks for being there, Dennis.
All right, looks good. I was doing a really minuscule version to the camera, so what I'm seeing that looks pretty good is just if I can transfer the quality. All right, let's see. I have a question for you after the roll call on the SDR. Quick one. All right, thanks.
We'll come back around to that. Thank you, sir. Moving down to Operator 84, Jerry. Okay, Operator 305, David and Sanger.
305, checking in.
Okay, got the X in the square. Thank you, David. Moving down, or moving, we could say up, back up to Operator 109, Mr. Crawdad.
Hey, Jeremy, you're going to have to proxy 109 Mr. Crawdad in tonight.
We will get the X in the square for him.
Hey, thank you.
You bet. And was there another station out there? No, I guess not. Moving over to Madeira, operator 142, Mr. KP. Back to Fresno, operator 112, Rickshaw.
112, Rickshaw checking in.
And we have you on the list. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the check-in, Jeremy.
Moving out to Sanger Country, operator 148, Stephen. Let's try operator 321, Mr. Jerry in Madeira.
Well, I finally made it on time, Jeremy. Hope everybody's doing fine and trying to stay cool. Anyway, thanks, Jeremy. Go Giants. Back to you.
That had been missing from this net. I'm glad to hear that. It must be something in the air. I was actually, not only was I on time, I had the stream up 15 minutes early. I was really patting myself on the back for that one. I tell you, I think I threw my shoulder out. And sorry to miss you again on Wednesday. I keep missing Wednesday nights, but I need to get back into the swing of things there. Maybe fire up the old key, but hopefully it went well for you guys. And thanks for being there, Jerry.
Yeah, Roger. A little update on that. Mark, if you're listening, Dwayne just gave him a radio check here about half an hour ago, and he's back on HF, so it's all good news. Anyway, back to you, Jeremy.
All right, good news. Thanks, Jerry. Okay, is the XYL near the microphone?
She's in the backyard playing with the dogs.
Well, we'll get the proxy. We'll get the X in the square there for her. All right, operator 113, Tom in Sanger. Operator 54, Dean and Kerman.
Hey, Jeremy, 54 checking in. Thank you, sir.
And thank you for checking in. Moving to operator 449, Smitty, Southeast Fresno. All right, let's try operator 360, Ray in Dunlap.
360's in there.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, operator 310, Tony, Coursegold.
Good evening once again, Jeremy. This is Tony 310 in Coursegold. Finally got PG&E to come out today and give me the okay to start digging for my tower, so pretty stoked about that.
Oh, good deal. Yeah, that sometimes PG&E can kind of take a while there, but you got the USA all done. It sounds like you're ready to start planting and watering and see if that tower grows. All right, let's try operator 53. That's Bob in Fresno.
Proxy Bob in.
We'll do that. I was kind of curious there. He's usually here, so I figured maybe he's just running late tonight. All right, let's try operator 111, and that's the second Bob in Reedley.
Hey. I can hear you in Reedley. You're doing something right. Take care.
All right, thanks, Bob, and I can hear you in Biola, so it's working both ways. Appreciate you being there. Okay, operator 603, Joe in Fresno.
Thanks, Jeremy. 603 here in Fresno, checking in.
Appreciate you being there, Joe. Next we have lucky number 7, Ed.
Number 7 checking in, sounding good.
We got you checked in, sounding good here too, Ed. Next we have operator 559, Harold in Aubrey.
Yeah, Harold checking in here, and it's really nice hearing all these radio operators out here checking in.
We appreciate you checking in. It is. It's nice to hear. I was a little concerned when we started doing this. It might be one of those things where everybody checks in a week or two and then kind of drops off, but it's good. We got a good check-in going tonight. It's good to hear everybody, so appreciate you being there.
Check.
Next, we have operator 502, Eric. And another Eric following him up, operator 43. How about operator 45, Paul in North Fork? Oh, I might have jinxed myself there. Let's try operator 1234, Tony, Coursegold.
Proxy her in there for me, Jeremy.
Will do. We got the X in the square. Next, let's head over to O'Neill's and see if Mr. Mark is there. Operator 302.
Good evening, Jeremy.
Good evening, Mark, and I hope you're doing the same up there. Next, we'll move to the Tower of Power, operator 1017.
Well, good evening, gentlemen, and 73s, and boy, you're just booming in here tonight, Jeremy. Good to hear all the stations out here. That's just really awesome, man. 1017, the Tower of Power, checking in.
We appreciate you being there, Dennis, and sounding good as always. Next, we have operator 650, Rich in Corscold. And rounding out the list as I have it, was a new list member as of last week, operator 188. That's Snow Beast Jr. in Fresno.
188, checking in. Good evening, everybody.
And we have the X in the square, and thank you for being there, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, that's the list as I have it. I'll get the keyboard a little bit closer here, just in case we have a pile up. Not sure if we will or not, but let's see. Yeah, line 39 is open, available. So if you're just joining us, we'll get you on the list. Go ahead and go now. I have two. I had a contact and a station, so let's start with contact first. Go ahead.
Hey, Jeremy, 761 and Prather checking in, man.
Oh, gotcha. Let me scroll that back up there. I should look. See, that's something a veteran net control station would do. At the end of the roll call, they'd ask if there's any late or missed members, and I need to add that. Thanks, Mark.
Hey, thank you, and thanks for doing the net, man.
Hey, thanks for being there. And there was another one that said station, I believe it was.
First time check-in, 102 in Fresno.
102 in Fresno. Got you checked in. And do you have a handle or first personal you'd like to put on the list as well?
Personal is Philip.
Philip, okay. Well, thank you for joining us, and we have you on the list, and you are line number 39. Appreciate it.
785.
Okay, next at line 40, we have 785, and oh, wow. Excel and me sometimes disagree. Okay, please go ahead, 785.
Oh, good. I was worried about getting on line number 40, and I landed the plane perfectly on the runway here on line 40. 785 here in Fresno.
All right, and we got you on the list, Larry, in Fresno town. Oh, boy, this has been really tricky tonight. All right, thanks, Larry. All right, next we have line 41 is open, available. Is there any other stations? Please go ahead. I tell you what, the Tower of Power there, do you want to take a look in Fresno Town, see if there's anybody that maybe can't hear me that you can hear, and take a quick look for check-ins? Uh-oh, we lost Dennis. Let's see. Well, let's go up to James. James and Aubrey, operator 33. Are you still on frequency? Uh-oh, striking out here. How about 761, Mark? Are you on frequency?
Yes, I am.
Do you want to take a quick look for check-ins there for me, please?
Sure. Check-ins. Anybody would like to check into the Ditch Bank Net? Please come now. Give your name and or call sign, or just give us a shout. Standing by. I got nothing, Jeremy.
Hey, I appreciate you taking a look. I really do. Thank you, sir. All right. Well, that's it. We'll keep going here. If anybody else wants to join in, they can at any time. Pretty loosely directed here. Is there any items of interest, items for sale, or any other comments for the net? Please go ahead. All right. Before we close, Dennis had something he wanted to ask. Let's scroll back up to Dennis. That way I can type in here if I need to. Mr. 920 OTR. Dennis, you there?
Yeah, hello, radio. Make sure my radio is still functioning. Can you hear me over, kind of?
Yes, sir. No problem.
All right, I'm doing some weird stuff here. On your SDR, when you are in the sideband mode, there are filter selection bandwidth. Is 2700 the top or the widest you can go?
Okay, so that's a good question. So up here you can see where that's, well, this is going to be delayed, so talking about it live is hard, but I have my cursor on 2700. I actually have the filters drug out to 3000 right now, so 3KC. And no, in sideband, I'm not sure what the limit is. I think I can drag it out pretty darn far. So it's pretty much infinite, really, as much as it can be, I suppose.
Okay, because I saw the button selections, and then if you look at the insert down in the right-hand corner, you see that you're at 3,000, but your bottom is still at 200, so it looks like it's 2,700. You're just at the top part, so you can, I don't know if you can drag it the other way, but I didn't know if you could go, say, 4,500 or 6K or whatever, but there are buttons that I can see. I didn't know if you could expand that.
Yeah, so great question, yeah. And I can, it's kind of goofy the way I have this hooked up. But after the net's over, I'm going to unhook one of my audio. Well, it's a long story, but I had another request for that, to play with the filters a little bit. So after I close the net down, I'm actually going to change one little plug over here, and I can actually expand that section that you're looking at, and we can play with the filters. You can hear different sounds. Like I could squeeze down. I didn't see exactly where it looks like you're down at about 2.4, something like that maybe. Kind of guessing at what I've seen there, but we can squeeze it down to where you're just hearing your audio, and yeah, we can play with that totally.
Yeah, this radio is on a 2.1 filter, believe it or not, on transmit for sideband. I'd like it to be wider, but I know some of the other stations might be wider than that. All right, just curious, because I know some of the other SDRs will allow you to expand the bandwidth on sideband a lot more than 2.7. All right, looks good. Looks on the meter, and really interesting to see the signals coming in, and boy, you can sure tell the guys on the ham radios. Thanks.
Yeah, for sure. You'll notice that really solid line. They don't have a lot of the artifacts outside the passband there, but yeah, and most of the software does let you. I know that that was HDSDR another one I was running on here. SDR Sharp's another one, SDR Console version 3. I just downloaded that here a couple weeks ago. I've been playing with that. I really like that one. That was a lot of fun. And if you really start diving into SDRs, I know a couple guys were mentioning them the other day. There's RF Hack RF1. Excuse me, I said that wrong. A Lime SDR. Got some transmit functions, and you can have a lot of fun with that. Let me open it up. There's some software here for those of you that are interested. If you have your pencils ready, see if my whole desktop's probably going to show up on the screen. I hope not. Universal Radio Hack, or URH. It's a very user-friendly but very intensive program that you can sample really any type of audio bits and really break them down into bits, I guess. I don't know any other proper word for it. So say you want to copy a garage door opener or something, you can actually record that and copy that and use Audacity is another program you can use, and you can spread that audio file out and break it down. And if you have say an SDR Line Mini, or there's a couple, Pluto's another one. But you can actually replay that. It's in about the 10 or 15 milliwatt range, so don't have extreme expectations there. But it's a lot of fun, and it's addicting. Very, very, very addicting.
Lime radio is another one.
Okay, well, if anybody wants that information, just replay the video, because I think it's all being recorded. And before I go, I'm going to do a little picture testing, because I can, with the equalizer that's in the narrow mode, in the semi-narrow mode 667, and in the other mode of operation 667. Of course, I'm limited by my filter bandwidth. Thanks. Back to you in the studio.
All right. Sounds good, Dennis, and appreciate checking in this evening and looking forward to tomorrow. Okay, let's get these screens back where they're supposed to be at here. Is there anything else for the net? All right. Well, let's call it. I have 2020. Man, where did you get this? 2020 and 35 seconds here according to the not-so-accurate clock. I think we need to do a time sync on that guy. But appreciate everybody being here. Hope everybody had a great week. I hope everybody has a great week coming up. Looking forward to hearing most of you on OTR tomorrow. And thanks for joining us. And 73, all.
73s.
73, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy.
You bet. I'm going to make one little switch here. Get rid of that. You guys bear with me here. The stream's going to kind of maybe go up and down here just a second. I'm going to switch a few things around here and we can play with this filter.
Cool. Well, first of all, are you going to be transmitting wide? Okay, well, just if you can, just set it up to where, like, you can receive on the audio, like at 10K. Oh, so let me see. You're okay. So can you? Well, you can't just grab it on the main screen. Try stretching the box. Okay. All right. Well, I'll okay. So I'll just say that right now I'm at 2.7K bandwidth, and then well, I should crank up my audio here because so everyone can see it. But 2.7K on the bandwidth here. All right, I'm gonna switch. Let's see. Okay, this is 6K bandwidth. 6K bandwidth here. Low radio, and you notice I now have an upper sideband and a lower sideband signal, unfortunately. And then now, okay, there is 12K bandwidth. It's 12K. This is 785 in Central California. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, because I one time I turned on my SDR and listened on it, and it sounds like hi-fi when you listen to it on the full 10K or 20K wide. It's really cool. I was going to mention a couple of other brand names. There's Lime SDR by Crowd Supply, I think is the manufacturer. And then there's there's one that makes like a Doppler radar kind of thing with four receivers. I think it's called Caberos or something like that. That's another one. But that's for passive radar, which is pretty cool in itself. But yeah, Lime SDR. Oh, and then some of the software. I use a program called GQRX. Yeah, and the Skywave, I just recently downloaded Skywave Linux, and they've gone just totally to a dongle. That they don't even bother to load it onto the hard drive anymore. You can't put it on the hard drive without screwing around with it. So it's kind of unfortunate, and it's kind of I don't know. They've really cut down the features in it. So if you got an old version of Skywave Linux, I think it's 3, use that instead. A lot more user friendly. Yeah, the Lime SDR can sample up to 60 megahertz. Yeah, they're in the 400 to 500 price range. And all you get is a board. Been there, done that. So I guess when the video ends, it's going to be archived. Okay, great.
All right, thanks, Jeremy. Good demo on the bandwidth, and yeah, you can definitely hear a difference on Larry's when you widen it out. You hear the high frequencies that you don't, and I'm listening dual headphones between you and what I'm listening to, and with my really narrow filters, I don't hear much difference when he switches around. Plus, Larry, it looks like you're almost double sideband, or else the filtering isn't working real weird unless you need the DX, what is it, the DX100 thing with it.
Well, that's the thing. There is no filtering.
Okay, yeah, all right. I was going to say, if you do that on ham frequency, you'd have people calling you.
Oh yeah. There would be some letters coming in to my door.
But I hear on Jeremy's radio, not on my radio. When you switch, I don't hear much difference because my bandwidth is narrower. When he winds it out, you can definitely hear the high frequencies come in. All right, thanks. I'm back to listen.
Someday I'm going to be a real ham radio operator.
Well, the first thing you have to do is find the kid.
I think I got to get a better radio. Yeah, I need a better radio. I think so. And a better computer.
Well, next month you might have that chance.
Yeah, actually, Larry, I hate to tell you this, but that doesn't sound very good.
Well, you have to open up your receiver. Oh. Uh-oh.
No, when you come over on the other band, it does not sound good.
The other band?
Well, the other side.
Well, yeah. Don't look at the bad side. Look at the good side.
And that would be?
Oh, well, cover one of your ears.
Larry, if you go to the 2.7, does it shut off the double sideband?
Yes, it does.
And Ed, you are definitely FCC approved.
Yeah, that's not kosher. Oh, doing double sideband. Yeah, pretty much anywhere on 20, 40, or, well, yeah, whatever. Oh yeah, that's a tiny band. So yeah, that would be taking up too much space. Oh yeah, I've heard some monsters down there on 80. Oh yeah, love listening to the old AM rigs. And they usually have the old buzzer key-ups where they'll key up and talk for 5, 10 minutes. They made them to last back then. Yeah, and the technicians are going by the wayside too. Oh yeah, well, there used to be a lot of places around here where you could buy electronic parts and do a lot of that. Well, you need a resistor, you need a capacitor, you need whatever. But now there's...
You ever order from RF Parts? Yeah. They, well, you know, some of their good old transistors, they don't carry them anymore. They're not available. Oh yes, they have sometimes for agricultural, you know, to sterilize food, they have these high-powered transmitters at 13.5 megahertz, and you know, I've one time I got a antenna tuner box made for one of those. Pretty cool. Well, we're at the bottom of the cycle. You need to do whatever you can.
Antenna and feed lines.
And then there's tower.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just starting in on that one, and I did do one with 90 degrees out of phase, and right around at about 3/4 of a wavelength apart from each other. Oh man, it got really impressive. But like I said, that's in their world, and this is the real world. But anyways, it gives you an idea. That is an excellent book. That guy he's just a blast to read. Yeah, well, I've always, used the standby, the ARRL antenna book, and I always bought the new edition every year, so I got a stack of them here. But I have one in particular from 1959, and you want to talk about sticky notes and highlighting markers, but this edition from 1959 just really, really has some cool antennas in there. Well, it is just like, you really can't get to a standard because every antenna is going to do something a little different in its environment that it's working in. So, you always have that unknown factor there, which for me is really cool. And I love the ladder time, and I love doing the math work, pencil to paper. Yeah, you can get your fancy checkers and analyzers and of course our modeling programs. But going back to the old school way it's always just been so much fun for me. I really enjoy it. There you go. I think the gentleman you might be thinking of, John Ellman. He's so smart, he's stupid. But that's a compliment actually. But yeah, he can. Whoo, man, he gets right. Man, if you miss just one particular specification or element, or even the proper nomenclature, boy, he's on you right now. Oh yeah. Well,
TYO
is watching or reading or listening to the guys that try to challenge him. and I think that's what he enjoys is being challenged, you know. Yes, it is. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. When I was in Hawaii, I did a lot of work with log periodics, and I would take my log periodics and I would sweep the elements back like a television antenna. And I got into it with a bunch of guys telling me, oh, doesn't make a difference, and this, that, and the other, and creates more wind load, and blah, 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 blah. And John came in there and said, no, man, all of you are incorrect, and that young man out there in Hawaii, he's on to something, and watch what happens when he's done with it. And I was like, whoa, that was like, I'm not worthy. And when I got done with that darn thing, it would tune from about 24,800 all the way up to 30 megs, man, without a tuner or anything. That zigzag feeder line, just picking what element is going to work in that particular bandwidth, and bam, man, she'd come right into match and do her thing. Well, I was fortunate. I was at almost 5,000 foot elevation on the side of the volcano overlooking the island. And, man, I tell you, I had the Pacific all around me. So I don't care what direction it was. And the thing that I remember most is just how quiet it is out there on the radio. There is no noise. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's endless. I did do some experimenting with 4 5/8 verticals and phasing, switching networks and distance between them, and they were all ground mounted, about 10 foot off the ground. And I made some amazing contacts with them.
Thanks for doing it.
Okay, Jeremy, I appreciate it, and thanks for everything you do, man. All the best, 73s, 1017.
73s from number 7. Bye-bye.